Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I mentioned in an earlier video that Regan had given Humza Yousaf a list of demands in order to ensure that she votes for him in the vote of confidence. Now, whether even if she gets her desires and he says this, we all know he's a liar, so she may not believe him anyway. Or she may get them and he means it, and she may just vote against him anyway as well, just to give him a bloody nose, because obviously with the insults that he gave her, she may just want to have a little bit of cold revenge. A dish best eaten, cold. Got that one wrong. Anyway, we got this article here that she's claiming what she wants, and she does have all the power at the moment. Although you've got to remember, not only was she insulted, but she works for a man who Humza helped try to put in prison. So, it's a long shot at best. Let's have a look to see what Ash wants and whether the list is realistic enough for Humza Yousaf. Here goes. Now, this is actually in the Evening Standard in London. This is how far. To be honest, this story has hit. I've had hits from New Zealand, Australia, America, South America. They are dancing in the streets. It is absolutely a worldwide story. But then people can't believe that it's real. People look at what's going on in Scottish politics and they're just astounded by it. I have American friends who don't believe it's real. Literally, they say it would never happen. Anyway, Alba's Ash Regan writes to Yousaf with demands as he battles for survival. The Alba Party MSP says the ball is in Humza's court. I would suggest that there's two balls in Ash's hands and she can squeeze. She said that her vote could be crucial to Humza Yousaf's political future, and she's written to the First Minister with a list of demands to ensure her support. Maybe. Regan is a former SNP minister who defected to Alex Salmond's party, said she wanted to see progress on Scottish independence and defending the rights of women and children. Not something that previously and hitherto Humza Yousaf has been particularly pro. Because of the stance by the Greens, and he's had to say no, women can be and children can be harmed by having men have free access to their areas because the Greens demand it. But is this going to be reversed? It could well be. Humza Yousaf is desperate to boost his popularity, and he knows that the toxic policies of the Greens have driven many away. By doing the reverse, he may hope that some drift slowly back. Now, they may well drift back to the SNP, but I think they won't drift back to supporting him necessarily. I think he is done. And I think if there was another leadership challenge, he would undoubtedly lose it by a large margin. So Mr Yousaf is battling to save his position as First Minister after his former allies in the Scottish Greens vowed to vote against him in a motion of no confidence. The SNP leader dramatically brought a power-sharing deal with the Greens to an end, thanks to Stephen Flynn, but now faces a backlash which will cost him his job. They put could. It will. He's done. A tight vote is expected at Holyrood next week, probably Wednesday. And since the SNP have 63 out of the 128 MSPs, Ms Regan's vote would appear to be crucial in getting Mr Yousaf over the line in a confidence vote. Speaking to the BBC's World Tonight, the Alba Party MSP said, "I've written to the First Minister today with a number of issues that I've raised with him on progress made towards independence, on how he will defend the rights of women and children, and a return to competent governance." Well, I'm afraid you may get a push towards independence. You may get defence of the rights of women and children. But competent governance? Come on, Ash. You're living in cloud cuckoo land there, darling. She said, "My vote will depend really what Humza comes back with in response to my letter." Well, assuming he can read. She continued, "I'm not setting out specific demands as such. I'm putting the ball into Humza's court for him to come back to me and explain to me how he will make progress in a couple of these areas, particularly around the return to competent government." Well, if you want a competent government, you've got to vote the SNP out and put someone else in who is, in some way, shape or form, competent. The Alba Party said Miss Regan's letter would be sent out on Friday. Allies of Mr Yousaf insisted he was coming out fighting in the face of a concerted effort by opponents to oust him. And on Thursday night, a source close to the First Minister said Yousaf was absolutely not considering his position following the chaotic events of Thursday, even though others have said he has. It's a weird position. Nobody knows. And when you have mystery like this, it leads to weak governance because nobody knows what's going on. Nobody's got confidence. Certainly, I think there's nobody at all now ever that's got confidence in Humza Yousaf being able to lead the party. That's done. He may just last long enough to make it to Wednesday, but then he'll lose the confidence vote. Although he doesn't necessarily have to resign on that, but he'll find it very, very hard. And if he doesn't resign, it just means all the other parties, all the opposition, just vote down everything. And nothing gets done. Then the SNP will get rid of him themselves. His decision to end the Butte, it wasn't his decision. His announcement that other people had decided to end the Butte House agreement with the Scottish Greens was branded an act of political cowardice by the smaller pro-independence weirdos. The Greens will back a no-confidence motion proposed by Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross, leading Yousaf facing a knife-edge vote at Holyrood next week. Wouldn't it be a shame if one or two of the SNP got ill? Lorna Slater, co-leader of the Scottish Greens and Madwoman, told the PA news agency, "We no longer have confidence in a progressive government in Scotland doing the right thing for climate and nature." Nobody's doing the right thing for the people, and it's building up an economy, and you can't tackle any problem if you don't have an economy. Lorna, darling, you're very good at moaning about Scotland, but you're doing sod all about the billion tonnes of coal India are boasting about burning. Anyway, the Butte House agreement gave the SNP-led government a majority at Holyrood, but it came under strain in recent days after the Greens said they would put the future of the deal to vote by their members. And of course, the moment they said that, they had to go. You don't bow down to ultimata. Some of the Greens were unhappy at the Scottish Government's recent dropping of the 2030 climate change and the decision to try and protect children from mass sterilisation and the emasculation of little boys to pleasure older men in the Greens. With the Greens voting in favour of the no confidence motion, there'll be 64 out of the 128 MSPs, blah, blah, blah. We've all done the maths. So there she is. So she wants protection of women, I'll grant you. Push to independence, I'll grant you. But come on, Ash. Competent governance? Who are you kidding? Coming up. Not really anything more you can add to that. Never going to happen, is it? Competence. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. There is probably much more to come on this story today, but we will move on and go and get some other stories as well. After all, you know, there is a big world out there. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.